Greetings, Masters. The weather is heating up, and when things get hot, you can bet Kiyohime is going to be there. This lovely lady is hitting the beach, and this time she's bringing a lance. As a 4-star Lancer, Kiyohime is clocking in at 8,936 attack and 11,870 hit points. Her attack is not too great when compared to her counterparts. She only has 6 more attack than the rare Mana Prism Fion, and is fairly close to the bottom of the list when it comes to HP as well. Stats aside, let's take a look at her deck, which is fairly impressive. She does have a 2 quick 1 arch 2 buster deck, which is fairly common for Lancers, being shared by most of the 4-star Lancers. She has 2 hits on her quick, 2 on her arts, and what really sets her apart from the crowd is the 6 hits on her buster cards, which actually is more than the hits from her extra attack, which only clocks in at 5. When it comes to NP gains, she has 1.05% on attack and 4% on defense, which is actually not really impressive when it comes to Lancers with 2 hits on their arts cards. However, we will get back to that in a moment. A star weight of 92 and a star rate of 12 puts her in the middle of the pack in terms of star rate, and actually at the top in terms of star weight, sharing the top spot with Santa Jalter Lily. A few traits of note. Dragon, which means that if you are teaming her up with Jalter, you will be double dipping on some sweet attack up. Now, this is where it's going to get interesting. Optimal Brave Chains. So let's start off with NP. Now, the interesting thing here is that because of the sheer amount of hits on her buster card, you actually have multiple options, and a bit more in terms of strats. So you will start both of these 2 chains off with your single arts card. That's right, 2 possible chains. Now both of these will output the same amount of NP, but where it gets interesting is, do you want more stars or more damage? The Arts Buster Quick will net you 31.5% NP and about 11 stars, whereas the Arts Buster will also net you the same 31.5% NP, but also do vastly more damage. Oh, and still provide around 9 stars. Personally, the extra damage in favor of the 3 or so stars would be where I would lean. When it comes to stars, well, Buster Quick will net you around 13 stars. For pure damage, this is going to be the typical Buster Arts Buster. This one will also net you almost 15% NP as well as around 9 stars. The hits on her Buster cards are just amplified even more from her skills and her passives, so let's get into those. Scorching Summer of Passion A. This is going to decrease the critical rate of all enemies for 3 turns on a 7-turn cooldown. Rank 1, you're dropping it by 20% all the way up to 30% at rank 10. This is a very straightforward skill, and to be honest, I wish they would have added something extra to it, as it is rather bland. Hopefully this will be a target in the future for a strengthening quest. The next skill, Bathwater Turnover A, is what we're here for. Increased Buster card effectiveness for 3 turns on a 7-turn cooldown. Again, 20% at rank 1, increasing to 30% at rank 10. Now, this is going to pair very well with those Buster cards she's rocking. I would suggest pairing her up with Servants that can raise attack, as it would couple very well with the increased Buster damage. I do wish that this came with the debuff removal that comes with her Berserker version of the skill, but we get what we get. Her last skill, Pursuer of Love A, is just a reskinned version of her Berserker skill Stalking B, but with a bit of an upgrade. This decreases defense for 3 turns, but increases the enemy attack for 3 turns as well. 20% flat attack up for the enemy from rank 1 through 10, however the defense down starts at 20%, which is up from her Berserker skill and scales all the way up to 30% at rank 10. So overall, her second skill is going to be your priority, followed by her third skill, and her first skill can be a distant last. She does retain her Madness Enhancement EX, further increasing her Buster cards by another 12%, which is just fantastic considering her kit and her deck. This also supplements her lower attack, as the Lancer class as a whole typically only has riding to add extra oomph to their damage. She also has Magic Resistance D, increasing her debuff resist by 12.5%. Now, let's get into this NP. Doju Temple Bell 108, Fire Dragon Halberds. This is a single target Buster NP that not only inflicts Skill Seal, but also burn for 5 turns. You have your standard damage spread for NP 1 through 5, starting at 600% and capping out at 1000%. The burn will run from 500 per turn on Overcharge 1 up through 2500 damage per turn at Overcharge 5. Now, it is pretty tough to get Overcharge 5, I understand, but even at just Overcharge 1, that is an extra 2500 damage, and if you do pull off that Overcharge 5 NP, you are going to be doing an extra 12,500 damage over the next 5 turns. That is, if it's not already dead. With this NP, not only can you Buster Brave Chain off of it, but with her second and third skills as well as Madness EX, you are going to be hitting like a truck, a monster truck, crazy glued to another larger monster truck that if for some reason it doesn't kill what you just ran it over, it will set it on fire. So what kind of mats are you going to need to skill up and ascend this delightful dragon? Ascension is a little bit gross. 6 crystals isn't too bad, and neither are the 8 seashells, but 8 beast grease and 6 lamps are a little bit steep. For skills, 12 shells, 12 crystals, and 48 Dragon's Fangs. What is with all of these new summer servants needing crazy high amounts of mats for their skills? Seriously. Well, anyways, Fangs are currently being given out for your login, so this will be a little bit easier, but overall you are still going to need a lot of Fangs. You also need 8 scales per skill as well. Thankfully, you can almost ignore her first skill and focus on her second and leveling the third at your leisure. When it comes to CEs, you will want to focus on increasing her damage via Buster Up and or NP damage. Things like Limited Zero Over will give you a nice solid increase in Buster card effectiveness, and this will not only help with the 2 Buster cards, but her NP as well. Additionally, you have Halloween Princess and Golden Sumo. Both will start you out closer to the goal line of getting that NP off, as well as increasing your attack or NP damage. I would lean a bit more towards Golden Sumo between the 2 of these, as the additional attack will help in your normal attacks. You can run things like Heroine Ellie-chan's Adventure from the upcoming Halloween event, as this will increase Buster performance by 15% and NP damage by 25% when limit broken. This CE is likely going to be the absolute best CE for this servant, as you are going to be double dipping on that damage, and as always, those 2 should be multiplicative instead of additive. For team members, well, Kyo works very well in Buster teams, so running her alongside servants with double and triple Buster decks is very beneficial. However, she also benefits from arts-based support, as her follow-up to an arts lead will work very well with getting her NP up due to the sheer amount of hits on her other cards. Obviously, the likes of Waver Hans and Merlin will be standard, but you can also run servants like Martha, who has 3 arts cards to lead with, as well as buff removal to negate the attack up from Kyo's 3rd skill. You also have Jack, who not only can create crit stars for Kiyohime, but can also remove the detrimental buff that's provided by Kyo's 3rd skill. You also have teammates like Mash for the NP up plus invulnerability, plus the overall defense increase to help supplement Kyo's lack of survivability. Overall, Kiyohime Lancer comes with a very simple, straightforward kit. There's not much to her skills, and while they are a little bland, there is little to complain about as well. The lack of survivability is a bit of a downside, but she will be tankier than her Berserker counterpart, as you will likely be bringing her to fights where you will have the class advantage. Her incredibly high hit counts on her buster cards really help her out when it comes to gaining NP and crit stars, allowing her teammates to open with an arts or quick and following up with her 2 buster cards. As stated before, while her stats may be a little lackluster, retaining her Madness EX helped to greatly offset this. Not only that, but she is absolutely adorable. So here's hoping that if you are rolling for her, you get her, and if you do get spooked by her while you're rolling for Tamamo Lancer, well, she's not as bad as you may think that she is. So guys, I hope that your rolls are fantastic this summer, and I hope that if you do get this Lancer, that you give her a chance. I would like to take this moment too to thank all of the Patreons that help make this channel possible. You guys are who I'm pulling for in the summer banners. If you would like to join the Patreon squad, there is a link down into the descriptions, but you can always help the channel out by hitting that subscribe button, smashing that bell notification, dropping me a like and a comment, and I will catch you in the next Servant Spotlight. Take it easy, everyone. Peace. Just